Dear brothers and sisters, today I want to share a story that has the power to make us deeply reflect on what lies beyond earthly life. This is the story of Vicky, an extraordinary woman who crossed the boundary between life and death, offering us a testimony that defies all logic and human understanding. Imagine living an entire life in darkness, never seeing the sunlight, the faces of your loved ones, or the beauty of a landscape. This was Vicky's life, a woman born blind. For her, the world consisted of sounds, smells, tastes, and tactile sensations. Every day was a new challenge, and her understanding of the world was based solely on the other senses she had at her disposal. However, everything changed dramatically when Vicky, at the moment of her death, regained her sight and could describe in minute detail what she had seen.
I was born blind. I had never seen anything in my life, not even once. The world for me was made up of sounds, smells, tastes, and tactile sensations. I was used to living like this until one day everything changed dramatically. I was just over 20 years old when I was involved in a severe car accident. My injuries were severe: a fractured skull, a concussion, neck and back injuries, and a broken leg. My life was hanging by a thread. I only remember that suddenly everything went black. My heart stopped for 4 minutes. The first thing I remember is being at Harborview Medical Center, but not as an ordinary patient. I saw myself from above, watching the doctors frantically working to save my life. Imagine my surprise and initial terror, considering I had never seen anything before. I saw the doctors running around me, heard their urgent voices, and observed every detail of the room. My first thought was recognizing my wedding ring and my long hair. The initial confusion and fear soon turned into a feeling of detachment and serenity. I no longer felt pain. I was no longer worried about my body. Then, something even more extraordinary happened. I heard a wonderful sound, like wind chimes, guiding me to a new destination. I passed through the hospital ceiling as if it didn't exist, feeling finally free from all physical constraints. The description of that sound was so intense, it seemed to embrace every possible tone, from the lowest to the highest, creating a celestial harmony. As I approached this new place, I saw something I could never have imagined. Lush trees, birds flying freely, and above all, people made of light. These people did not have a common physical appearance. They were luminous, radiant beings, and their presence emanated an indescribable peace and beauty. Everything in that place shone with a light I had never known, and yet, for the first time, I could see. The emotion and beauty of that moment were overwhelming. I described the light as something incredible. I couldn't fully understand what surrounded me. I perceived different intensities of brightness. In that place, every desire for knowledge I had was answered. It was as if I had reached a realm where all the knowledge of the universe was at hand. The peace and joy I felt were indescribable, but my journey was not meant to last. Suddenly, I felt a force pulling me back, towards my body. The transition was painful. Returning to my physical condition was like falling into an abyss of suffering and heaviness. I felt the pain of my injuries again, the weight of my body, and the nausea that overwhelmed me. Upon waking up, back in the world of darkness, I told the doctors and nurses what I had seen. To my great surprise, everything I had described corresponded exactly to what had happened during those crucial minutes. Their actions, the words they had said, even the small details of the room. Everything was accurate. And the most extraordinary thing is that I had never seen anything before, given my condition of blindness. I carried with me a new and profound awareness. I knew I had seen something extraordinary, something that defied all logic and human understanding. Although I had returned to being blind, the memory of that light and peace remained vividly imprinted in my mind and heart.
Dr. Sharon Cooper, a psychologist who studies near-death experiences, has examined Vicky's case with great interest. She noted that although Vicky could not describe colors as sighted people do, her experience was remarkably similar to those of others who had had similar experiences. Vicky spoke of different brightnesses of light because she had no frame of reference for colors, but her description of the environment was just as detailed and real. Brothers and sisters, Vicky's story invites us to reflect on the nature of the afterlife and the mystery of life after death. It teaches us that divine light can reach us even in the deepest darkness, and that our spirit is destined for a reality of infinite peace and knowledge. May this testimony strengthen our faith and remind us that beyond our earthly sufferings, a place of eternal light and love awaits us. In addition to Vicky's testimony, it is important to consider the broader significance of the experiences of those who have crossed the boundary between life and death. These experiences, recounted by men and women from all cultures and social backgrounds, often report visions of light, encounters with spiritual beings, and sensations of unconditional love. Science itself has begun to study these experiences, trying to understand what happens to the brain and consciousness during moments of extreme crisis. Science has not been able to explain these experiences fully, and many aspects remain a mystery. But as Christians, we cannot help but embrace these experiences as confirmation of life after death. Vicky's story reminds us that despite the limitations of our bodies and senses, our souls have the capacity to perceive and experience realities beyond the material world. This awareness can give us comfort and hope, especially in times of difficulty and loss. Let us know in the comments if you have experienced or know someone who has experienced a similar story. Sharing our experiences can help us create a supportive and understanding community where we can find comfort and inspiration in each other's testimonies. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos and to become part of our community of faith and prayer. May God bless us all.